Today on Growing Bolder, meet the world record-setting centenarian who's on a mission to help you start growing bolder.
I'm willing to do it, want to do it, got to do it.
He was a member of one of the most successful rock bands in history. Bill Schaefer gets Bolder Backstage with Journey's Jonathan Cain to see why he's still saying, "Don't stop believing."
It's the songs you leave behind.
And I'm Laura Savini. Whether it's the loss of a job or a spouse or the loss of a physical ability, adapting to that loss and moving on, that's the key to successful aging. We hear from some who found that life is better on the other side of loss.
What a little moonlight can do to you.
We're not made to withdraw from life. We're made to seize each moment and to value every breath. We're made to be bold, to take risk, and to help others. We are the most creative, fearless, passionate being that has ever walked the face of the earth. Don't identify with limitation. Embrace possibility. This is not the beginning of the end. This is the beginning of what's next. This is Growing Bolder. Hello, I'm Mark Middleton, and welcome to Growing Bolder, where we are out to prove that it's never too late to chase your dreams. It certainly wasn't for Julia Hawkins, who took up running at the age of 100. Julia is one of our rock stars of aging. They're all great examples for all of us because one study after another has proven that lifestyle accounts for 75% of active longevity, and Julia, aka the Hurricane, is certainly active. Julia Hawkins is about to make history as the oldest woman to ever compete in a sanctioned track and field event. Hawkins is 103 and knows that running at her age is not without risk. Are you nervous?
Yes.
What are you afraid of?
Oh, just that I might have trouble. Might not be able to do it. You know, I haven't done it in a while.
But fear is not about to keep Hawkins off the track. She runs not to set records, but to destroy stereotypes. She runs to make a statement about what's possible as we age.
I'm willing to do it, want to do it, got to do it.
What do you think about the example you're setting for people all over the world?
Well, that's what's keeping me going, actually. I think it's a ridiculous thing I'm doing in a way, but if I'm an example, I'm proud.
We're very proud of you. God bless you for what you're doing.
Thank you.
Go get them. Have a good race.
Okay.
All right. Since she's the oldest of all time, she's always the oldest in her races. Today, she's running against a group of young whippersnappers in their 90s. Another wave to the crowd, and it's time to make history.
Set.
Remarkably, Hawkins didn't start running until she was 100 and very quickly became a global phenomenon, setting records in the 50, 60, and 100-meter sprints. This is the 50-meter national championship, and the first thing she wants to know after crossing the finish line is...
What was my time?
What time were you going for?
Well, half a minute, no less than that, fourth a minute.
How do you feel? How did that race feel?
Well, I wasn't great, but I was still all right. I didn't get a good start. I never do, it seems like, but at my age, maybe you never do.
But when it comes to aging, it's not about the start. It's about the finish. And Julia Hawkins is demonstrating one of the greatest finishes ever.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the women's 50-meter dash, 100 plus. Our gold medal winner is Julia Hawkins from Louisiana with a time of 21:05.
With the 50 under her belt, Hawkins sets her sights on the 100, a race she calls her thing.
I thought it was neat to start running at 100, to do the 100. So the 100's always been my same thing. So I hope I do well in it.
Once again, the world is watching as Hawkins lines up for the 100. Every time she competes, her legend grows and her message spreads. Hundreds of media outlets worldwide are reporting on this race, and within hours, video of this run is seen by millions. So tell me what the moral of the Julia Hawkins story is. What's the takeaway? What do you want people to know?
Just keep moving and doing. Always have something ahead of you that you're looking forward to, that you need to be ready for, whatever it is. Writing my life story was one of the things I wanted to do, and I did that. And the running is just a little added sweet to the life.
Hawkins added a little more sweet to the life at the athlete celebration, walking with her Louisiana teammates and giving everyone she passes Mardi Gras beads and a glimpse into a future that most never imagined was possible. And what do you say to people, Julia, who say life can't be worth living after 90 or 100?
Oh, it is. It's been wonderful. I've just had a good time. I really have. I got hearing aids and I'm having trouble seeing, but I have a talking book, and there's just something out there for every problem you have. And the doctors can keep you healthy, thank goodness. So just don't fall, don't gain weight, and keep moving. That's it.
It's the simple secret to active longevity that nearly every researcher and health professional in the world prescribes, and most of us ignore. It's only when we see it that we begin to believe it. So, what can we learn from the hurricane? Well, here's 3 quick takeaways. Number 1, don't use age as an excuse. Julia is now 104, and that could be an excuse to not do anything. Instead, she travels the country competing and hanging out with her friends. Number 2, take advantage of technology. Many older people don't want a digital hearing aid or a smart speaker or an audio book, but these are life-enhancing products, especially for older people. And number 3, don't be afraid to fail. Life isn't about winning, it's about participating.
You know the song, Don't Stop Believin'? Everybody does. If you think about it, you don't write a song like that unless something happened in your life that nearly made you stop believing. Well, that's exactly what happened to Jonathan Cain of Journey. In fact, he says nearly all of his accomplishments have come as a direct result of overcoming pain. Let's get Bolder Backstage with Jonathan Cain.
Many times I was told, you should get a day job, this songwriting thing's not for you, and you can't sing, and just rejection upon rejection.
No one sees you had your dreams undone. No one's faced the battles you have won. Where a melody's lost without the words.
Sure, you might have a vision of you being the next Elton John, but it wasn't to be, not like that. But what did Elton do? He had Bernie. Oh, I don't have Bernie. I need a Bernie. Maybe if I get a Bernie. And I found this guy named Steve Perry. And that's when I knew to steal a little page of Springsteen and Dylan and just bring the street. And that's where Don't Stop Believin' came from, really, So it's really a love story about a son and his father. Through all the obstacles, it was always his voice, that kept me on track.
He would say things like, don't stop believing.
He would say that. John, don't stop believing.
Jonathan's always held on to the feeling that he's being watched over, protected from harm. And from what he's been through in his life, literally snatched from death twice, it's not hard to understand why.
I should have drowned in that lake, as a little kid. I should be gone. How does this man just show up on the pier and lift me out of the water? How is he out there?
But much more devastating was the fire. Jonathan was just 7, sitting in his 3rd grade classroom when his school, Our Lady of the Angels, erupted in flames. He was able to scramble to safety. Many others, many of them close friends, did not.
Here's a mistake I think people make when they ask you about this.
Yeah.
They focus on the fire. After the fire, after 100 kids lost their lives, you went to the funerals.
Yeah.
You went back to school and you saw kids disfigured, bandaged, and in terrible pain.
Yeah.
Lives changed.
Lives changed.
That had to, you talk about you were wounded as well. You didn't have to have the physical scars to have been wounded by that.
Yeah,
how did that change you, or is it still with you?
You know, you lock it up. I guess you lock up the pain and the sadness.
Yeah.
You know? But for me, I had to work out why. Why did those 93 children have to perish? You know, how do I file that in my mind? You know.
So maybe that's where some of your fearlessness comes from. Maybe that's where the attitude of, hey, I'm going to live to the fullest.
Sure.
I'm going to take
out of the ashes, you know, comes the beauty, you know. And out of pain, something new is born. Out of pain, something new is born. And that seed, I believe my father started a different kind of fire in me, you know. He started a new kind of fire. He put the fire of desire in my heart. And he set it ablaze right here. And he said, music, go.
His big break came when he joined John Waite in the Babies. They just happened to be opening for a band called Journey, who just happened to be looking for a new keyboard player, leading Jonathan to believe if you can just hang in there, life kind of works.
There's seasons you'll endure, and there's seasons where you'll shine, you know. But you have to get through that other stuff till you get there, you know. And I think half the battle in life is knowing that it takes work, you know, and it takes belief. And everything's an accumulation of what you do. Everything you learn all seems to bear fruit in the end.
How old are you now, Jonathan?
68.
I have a feeling Jonathan Cain's not going to sit around in a chair watching TV. You're going to be out there writing music.
Oh, yeah.
Playing it for as many people who will listen.
Absolutely, yeah. And I you know, to me, you know, rust never sleeps. You know, it's like Neil Young says. And I might be, you know, have a little rust on me, but I continue to roll, you know, and create. I've got a lot of projects lined up, and you know, I'm dreaming good things. I don't care if you're an author, a songwriter, an artist. It's what you leave behind that matters, you know.
When it's time to leave the dance, be sure you know the signs. You'll be remembered. You'll be remembered for the songs you leave behind. It's the songs you leave behind.
Boy, he has had an amazing life, but a pretty rough one too. And any of us who've had to deal with sadness will understand what he meant when he said, out of pain, something new is born. It isn't easy, but the next time you're fighting through some difficult times, look for the lesson. It won't make it hurt any less, but you'll be better for it when you get past it. More Bolder Backstage stories at growingbolder.com/TV.
Hi, I'm Laura Savini. Over the years, we've learned that one of the most important keys to successful aging is to be able to adapt to loss and to keep moving forward. Well, we're all going to suffer setbacks at some point, and that is just part of life. The question is, will we give up or fight back?
Ooh, ooh, ooh. What a little moonlight can do to you.
Jackie Jones struggled when she lost 2 family members and suffered a stroke herself in a very short period of time. It was her family and friends, past and present, that kept her going.
You know, and you got 2 choices. You can either sit and worry or get up and do something about it. The voices of my husband, my mom, my sisters and brothers, friends were all saying, hey, it's not over. It's not over.
When Virginia Ferrigno lost her husband, she also lost her passion for life. Then, with a bit of effort, she found it again in music and an old exercise bike.
There comes a time when you have to make a decision. Are you going to wallow in pity for yourself all your life, or are you going to stop it and then start enjoying it? So, I'm enjoying it.
It was the ability to adapt and accommodate that kept concert pianist Leon Fleischer moving forward when a rare nerve disorder robbed him of the ability to play with one hand.
It is, to a large extent, a question of whether the glass is half empty or half full. If the glass is half full, you suddenly leave yourself open to many more possibilities. So when it's at its worst, you've got to do the tough thing and open up to these possibilities.
We all encounter unexpected setbacks, and sometimes it might just seem easier to give up. But you know what? Take it from those who adapted to loss and kept moving forward. There will be better days ahead.
Parkinson's disease is the second most common neurodegenerative disease in the country. If you've got it, the thinking used to be stay home and don't exert yourself. But now research shows the opposite is true.
Scoop it down and out. 4, 5, 6, 7.
It's why boxing, of all things, has emerged as a therapy that's making a difference.
Yes, you're doing 20 as fast as you can. 20 as fast as you can. Give me another 10 there. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It's funny because they used to say, well, you better just go sit down now and just take care of yourself and don't overexert yourself. That was the old school thought, all right? We realize that's the absolute worst a person can do with Parkinson's disease.
Switch feet. There you go, chakras.
Everyone thinks that, oh, I'm sorry for you or something like that, but really, there are people who have a lot worse than me, so.
You know what you are doing? You're kind of taking your future in your own hands by coming out, working out, taking boxing classes to try to maximize what you can.
Yeah, exactly, yep. Yep, I'm trying to grow bolder, as they say.
Well, here's something Mark always says. What your mind believes, your body embraces. And what that means is if you accept the limitations put on you, they become reality. But if you push back, you can live life on your terms. That's true when it comes to aging. At a time when we're told to wind down, Growing Bolder's Dr. Jim Smith Jr. says no. It's time to ramp up.
I would love for us to start a revolution about how we should age. Revolution. More than books, more than magazines, more than movies, where we shift the culture, we shift the landscape. We're getting better. Other countries, love their elderly, revere their elderly. We put our elderlies in homes. You played enough, you've made enough. Have a seat right here, Uncle Jim, right here. Now watch the party. What? I'm gonna be the party. Are you kidding me? You're embarrassing me. So, I'm not embarrassing me, so I'm embarrassing you. I'm having a good time without alcohol. And you're telling me to stop. Really? Come act my age then. And that's what I believe the Growing Bolder mission is. And I think it's an incredible mission. And I think the mission should go into revolution, to go into movement, and change the way we age, we grow. I love it. I hope to be growing bolder. I believe I'm going to be growing bolder for the rest of my life.
If we allow it, our lives can be filled with moments of awe. They are everywhere. We only have to pay attention. Mike Leonard and his crew set out on a journey to experience a moment of awe and received far more than they hoped for. Here's In Common with Mike Leonard.
Hello, Mark. A few years ago, we decided to produce a documentary on the concept of awe. And what you're about to see is a behind-the-scenes account of our photographic expedition into multiple states of wonder.
The journey began at an RV rental facility on the outskirts of Las Vegas. I was accompanied by producer Mary Kay Wall and filmmakers Jamie Fleischl and Corey Lillard.
This is my first time in an RV.
You've done this before?
I have done this before, but it was a long time ago.
Yeah.
I was a different person then.
That box is your generator.
We were on a mission to observe and capture images of the night sky in some of the best places on Earth to do so: Utah's Bryce Canyon region and eastern Nevada's Great Basin, remote areas largely free of light pollution.
coming out to a place like this seems, people say, oh, I want to do it, but they don't, because it seems like it's a lot of trouble, a lot of expense, don't have the time, and basically, it's not that expensive. It's not a hassle. And if we don't have the time, when will we have the time, really?
Our first destination was the Dark Ranger Observatory on a hilltop near the small town of Tropic, Utah. Owner Kevin Poe and his small band of dedicated stargazers offer what they call telescope tours, with the aim of increasing the general public's knowledge of astronomy while heightening awareness of natural darkness and all of its benefits.
The very southern end of Bryce Canyon is often referred to as the darkest place in North America accessible by a paved road.
We aren't experienced campers, and we didn't have to be, because the rental RVs were easy to operate, comfortable, bathroom and kitchen equipped homes on wheels, giving us the freedom to go anywhere and stay as long as we liked. We would spend most of the nights observing the heavens, and then nap in shifts during the day.
So many of us in the eastern part of the U.S. and major cities, we don't see the night sky anymore, right?
Right.
And what are we missing?
Well, I think the most dramatic experience is to see the Milky Way. So directly over my head, in about 2 hours, there'll be this huge silver rainbow, horizon to horizon. And you see it here like few places left in North America. You're looking at just a small slice in a larger picture of the classic spiral arm galaxies. We're looking at just this tiny little piece. But still, it's on the order of 1 billion stars in this rainbow, and it's a dramatic thing.
Bryce Canyon in the daylight hours was also a sight to see. Corey's drone camera capturing both the scope and the detail of stunning natural wonders. From Utah, we headed west, driving 5 hours back to Nevada and its Great Basin. Up a mountain we went, to a campground 12,000 feet above sea level. Once settled, we ventured out on foot to find the best filming location for our last night under the stars.
And we just walked up this rocky hill for about 1.5 miles and came upon this.
And there's nobody here.
There's not a soul here. It's gonna come right across.
I knew we were going to see magnificent things, but it has so far exceeded my expectations. It totally has blown my mind.
Instead of shooting video, we're shooting 30-second images and a number of sequences. So let's say we'll shoot over the course of 3 hours, and we'll take around 345 photos, each of them 30 seconds. And then you take those photos, and essentially you make a video out of those. And what you can see, you can see almost more than what we can see with our naked eye.
Yeah.
That's going to be the Milky Way.
What, tonight?
At 2 a.m.
Right there?
Right there.
So this is the spot?
This is easily the spot. This is the spots where spots are made.
Since the beginning of human existence, this is what people saw on every cloudless night. Then, the invention of electricity, population growth, nightlife, and the economic profitability that came from squeezing more work and more activities into a 24-hour period. We became more illuminated while losing the illumination we once had as a people about the spiritual, philosophical, and environmental value gained when witnessing this. How can you miss something when you don't know what you're missing? It's impossible to adequately describe the transcendent impact of this experience. An experience inspired by a desire to become awestruck, and then hitting the road to make it happen.
Putting 4 adults who are not related to one another into an RV and heading cross-country is a bold move that could have easily resulted in a week of awful instead of a moment of awe. But that's where the rewards of life are found, in taking risk. Unfortunately, as we age, most of us become risk averse. Now, I'm not talking about taking the kind of risk that will put your health or life in danger, but we can't let fear or uncertainty stop us from trying new things, meeting new people, or engaging in new experiences. Facing our fears is the essence of self-transformation. So join a public speaking group, write and perform a stand-up comedy routine, join a reputable dating service, enroll in a class at the local community college, or take an RV trip in search of a moment of awe. Scare yourself with the enormity of possibility, because that's growing bolder. We'll see you next time.
Information about all of the stories you've seen here today is available at growingbolder.com/TV. And you can go bold when you connect with the Growing Bolder community on Facebook and Instagram. Get Growing Bolder magazine 4 quarterly issues delivered to your home for $29.97 a year. A companion book, Growing Bolder by Mark Middleton, is available as well for $25 plus shipping and handling. Growing Bolder membership includes access to a robust online platform featuring tools, tips, and resources in personal finance, functional fitness, caregiving, brain health, entrepreneurism, and more. Available for $30 for 1 year. Order online at growingbolder.com/TV.